Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Spotlight. My name is Baer. Today we will be spotlighting a Wizard's Lizard. It is it's an action RPG, a roguelike, in a matter of speaking, that came out on I believe it's on no, it's on Greenlight. Sorry, it's on Greenlight right now. So you can vote for the game on Greenlight. You can also check out the link and all the information about it in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. I'm also going to type in the exclamation spotlight command into the Twitch chat right now if you're watching this live on twitch.tv/BearTaffy. You can find out all the information over on wizardslizard.com. It was released on January 22nd, and it's available via the Humble widget on the website itself. You can buy this directly from the developer, who is Lost Decade Games. You can also vote for it up on Steam Greenlight, which I highly recommend doing so, and it is a lot of fun. $15 right now. It's you can get it a DRM-free edition, again, like I said, at the Humble widget over on wizardslizard.com. Let's go ahead and start playing, though. First of all, a quick look at the options here. You can disable music and sound effects. The HUD inventory is actually really not that useful. I'll talk about that more as we get into the game itself. You can delete your save game, start completely over from scratch. You can also do this, which is kind of hilarious. I hit this quit button, and you say yes, and this little pop-up says, alert, thanks for playing. You guys can't see it right now, but if I click OK or click the X on that, nothing actually happens. So it's kind of hilarious. The game doesn't actually let you quit it. But anyway, minor concern. Let's go ahead and start playing the game. I'll go ahead and continue off of where I left off. So normally you'd see a cute little cutscene in which we'd be introduced to this little character here. He's the Wizard's Lizard, the main character, oddly enough, fitting of his title. You see a cutscene in which your master has met with the face of death itself after conjuring a potion that allows him to control life and become immortal. Death is offended by this. This dude's just kicking the ball around. It's pretty awesome. Death is offended by this and decides to curse him and the town for 1 billion trillion years, and then Wizard's Lizard decides, well, hey, I'm going to go off and I'm going to set things right. So you start off in this town here, and you can actually talk to these people using the spacebar if you're using the keyboard. Please take this 1,000 gold. That's all we have, but it should help you on your journey. Rescue more townsfolk within dungeons to increase your starting gold. So you start off in the township. You got a lot of different people walking around. Ask the developers for the discounts in the shop. You can wander about, you can talk to all the townsfolk, but really the game begins when we wander over into the graveyard on the right side. So let's see. Alright, we're in the tavern here. Great hours are very predictable again. So, just random NPCs, RPG elements scattered throughout. I want to get into the main core of the gameplay here, so let's go ahead. We can actually go down to the shop so you can see the gift of gold actually started at 500. We now have 1,000 due to the progress I've made exploring the graveyards and the other levels. But if you start off with enough money, you can actually get yourself a much better weapon to go through the beginning stages of the game with, so it's pretty awesome. And you can also see as we go over here to the right side that it's possible to unlock shortcuts to start off in the later levels as well. So you can see here these guys are pointing out to us. The door leads to the sewer, but is blocked by mysterious green crystals, and we can also go down here and see these guys saying leads to the crypt, but blocked by mysterious red ones. So we'll start off in the graveyard and get on our merry way. So, as I say, this is kind of a roguelike. It reminds me a lot of The Binding of Isaac. It's got the same kind of controls. You use WASD to move around in the little spacer. You can also move diagonally, which is convenient enough. You can also fire diagonally, which is an upgrade over the Isaac game, if I do say so myself. But we got many other elements to explore, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're in the graveyard here, which is one of the first levels. You may notice that things are very dark. And there's actually design and purpose to that, and we'll see that if we get the opportunity to do so. In fact, I may get myself killed, which is spoiler-tastic, but obviously kind of necessary to show an inherent element of the gameplay. But the darkness has to do with the dark version of the lizard that we're playing as right now. We have the opportunity, if we get ourselves killed, to go onto our Second Life, secondlife.com. and play as the light version of the Wizard's Lizard, that kind of thing. I knew I was going to do that over and over as I was spotlighting this game. It was almost a guarantee. Killer King Gaming, you can get this game on wizardslizard.com. You can buy it for $15 right now, and it is very good. I'm really enjoying it. Highly recommend it. But yeah, so you progress through the levels just like you would in a Binding of Isaac style-esque game. All various different kinds of enemies. I believe I fought all these ones before, otherwise we would be finding out about them via the little pop-ups that say like, first kill, zombie mutant monsters, something like that. You can also find these chests scattered about through various portions of the levels. For example, we just picked up leather boots. And this is the inventory I was talking about before. I can move my mouse and I can show you guys. It shows up right there. Unfortunately, there's not really anything we can do with it as we see it up there. You kind of just assume that that leather boots are going to help you out as far as your armor is concerned. Your enemies will deal less damage to you. And actually, here is the pentagram I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a bunch of damage here to show off this aspect of the game. And you can see we're actually taking 9 damage from each enemy as opposed to the 10 damage we were taking earlier. So we've died as the dark version of the lizard, which leaves us to become the light version of the lizard, and now there are differences in the gameplay that are sometimes only noticeable based on the level we're playing. But for example, it was probably a pretty obvious one right there. I'll go ahead and take damage again so you guys can see. If you'll do it. There we go. So, take a lot more damage as the light version of the lizard. And that leads you to think that you're probably better off making the sacrifice of less vision for the sake of being a lot more durable when you fight your enemies. It's wizardlizard.com. But when you find a pentagram like this, if you're playing as the light version of the lizard, you can go back to the dark version by standing on it for long enough to fill that bar, and then you get yourself those 2 extra, or not those 2 extra lives again, but you get yourself in a better position for longevity, which I'm really quite a fan of. I like that mechanic to it. It's not a it's certainly a permadeath game, but you do have 2 lives, so that adds to the survivability of your character here. You can go ahead and clear this room out, and of course, in a game such as this, you would expect that you won't be able to leave the room until you clear it of enemies, which makes a lot of sense. So there we go. Gates have opened, and hopefully we'll be running into our first boss room at some point in the near future here. I find as I've been going through that I typically don't really have a pathway to find the boss until I've cleared out just about every room on the floor. I'm gonna call it a floor, I mean like we're playing in the graveyard, of course. It's the closest thing you can associate with correctly. The ghosts don't actually do anything, no, they just kind of hang out. And in fact, that's another element of the light and dark versions of the lizard, is that I believe if we were to turn into the light version of the lizard, we would be able to actually fight those ghosts, because they are, you know, like they're in the light world, I suppose, which makes a little bit of sense. You can also see here, too, if you walk over those dirt piles, unfortunately, zombies are spawned. So it becomes a matter of whether or not you're, like, adequately prepared to deal with the threats, whether or not you actually want to... oh my goodness, these guys are kind of tough here. We gotta be a little bit more careful. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta decide, like, is it worth it to spawn more creatures? Do I have the necessary resources to deal with them, or do I just want to pass up on that chest? Which I found just about 9 times out of 10, you're probably okay summoning a couple more zombies to deal with these threats. We got ourselves the majority, in fact the entirety of the leather armor suit now, which means if we find some more, we're probably going to be upgrading that armor. There's also other items we can get, such as these ones here. How convenient is that? We ran into a shop as soon as I was about to make that transition. It's like I planned it. But in these shops, we'll occasionally find items like these. For example, we have a compass, which I can only imagine what that does. We've got like a heart in a jar or something like that. But these items, they don't immediately tell you what they do. In fact, it's even less telling than they are in The Binding of Isaac. Isaac would occasionally give you little hints like damage up, or like have some kind of subtle remark to share as far as your effectiveness of the items are concerned. But in this game, you really just have to figure it out for yourself, because it hardly tells you anything ever, and usually I just end up playing for a little while with the new item until I realize, like, oh yeah, so I suppose that's what that does. Which I'm kind of a fan of. You know, like, I appreciate the mystery behind it. And now we've gotten ourselves... Normally it would tell you what that is, too, which I kind of don't like. I'd like for it to, you know, pop up and still say, hey, this is what you just picked up here. This is kind of a gripe I have with it, just the fact that there's not really any way, at least not anything that I can see. In fact, the only option right now is to hide your HUD inventory, which doesn't help at all. But it would be nice to be able to know a little bit more about the item pickups, even though I'm just contradicting myself. I like it as far as the mystery is concerned with, like, the items you can purchase from the shop, but I don't like it as far as, like, being able to tell what a ring of defense does, for example. Like, I'd be able to at least see what the name of it is, I suppose, is what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to pick up 5,000 gold unless I... You know, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna go off into this next room. I'm gonna see if I can pick up 50 more gold. I'm gonna head back and then I'm gonna try to pick up one of these items and see if we can figure out what the mystery is behind it. Smaha55, how you doing? Oh, a blueprint as well. Let's talk to her. Welcome, by blueprint. You'll be able to purchase the new item in Amberfall. So that is another mechanic to this. There's heavy RPG elements to this game, which I'm really a fan of as well. Obviously, picking up the gold allows you to buy items just like a Binding of Isaac would. But in this game, you can continually upgrade your character by purchasing like new blueprints for items to buy as you spawn in a new game, or you know, unlocking different items in order to play with them in future playthroughs. So I'm a big fan of that. I like the action RPG elements combined with the roguelike status of the game itself. We also have this townsfolk we can save if we can manage to do so. What we're gonna do is probably take out a few more owls, a few more zombies, clear out the remnants of this here place, destroy the barrel, and he is set free. Thank you for saving me. Wonderful. So there we go. So we saved another townsfolk, which means we'll likely increase our initial starting gold. We're also gonna buy this blueprint here. So we got a blueprint for the Ring of Minor Defense. Awesome. And away we go. And now we've run into our first boss fight. The Zombie Warlord. He's actually pretty tough. Boss fights, I love the music, by the way. Soundtrack's pretty awesome. It's got that old school dungeon crawler RPG feel to it. Oh, Avlock, apparently he says you can see what every item does in the museum. Okay, so that's cool. I can dig that as well. So if you die, you lose everything, but you can upgrade your starting power. Pretty much, yeah. When you die, you lose all the items you collected along the way, but you can increase your ability to succeed out of the gate by, oh god. So, still trying to figure out what the best strategy is for dealing with the Zombie Warlord. I've found that as he's spinning around like this, I usually want to try to get in close and deal damage as much as I possibly can. Of course, that is a dangerous game, as he's just gonna circle ever so slowly back in his starting position here. And now, of course, he'll try to attack me again, and I gotta not get hit by that. There we go. Oh my goodness. You can also play with a gamepad in this game, so if you prefer, for example, if you play Isaac with a controller, totally possible in a Wizard's Lizard as well. Oh my god, he is going to maul me to death. The spiderwebs are also a lot more effective in this game, which kind of sucks. It gets really rough to walk through them sometimes. Yeah, he's also summoning a bunch of zombie dudes here, so let's take care of this. Why didn't you kill the shopkeeper? I know, I could have just stolen all of his goods. You can actually hit the villagers. I don't know if it works that way. It'd be interesting to find out. I'm kind of tempted to try it out, but as far as I know, the NPCs are unkillable, but you can hit them, which is kind of hilarious. So yeah, exactly. That's the comparison I probably should have drawn. Is the fact that it's similar to Rogue Legacy. You start every game afresh, but you increase your character's ability to perform every time you have a semi-successful run, or at least a run that grants you enough gold to purchase new items and such. Oh my god, this first boss actually is pretty damn difficult, and I'm probably gonna lose my Dark Lizard, but I am pretty close to taking him out. I found a few items so far throughout my playthroughs. I've probably played about an hour and a half to 2 hours of the game so far. I found something that gives you like a scan ability that allows you to see the hit points of the monsters you're fighting. Also found an item that probably isn't worth the money that shows you how much damage you're actually dealing. Which I suppose would be effective if you want to know whether or not it's worthwhile to switch the weapon you're carrying, but... Oh goodness, okay, here we go. Bam, bam, bam. Oh god, he's so close. So close, come on! We can do it! We can do this! Get him! Oh, jeez! Crap! Oh, and see now, yes, all the ghosts have spawned and are just mauling me. Wow. Yeah, so we're a lot weaker now. We really want to get back to the Dark Lizard. Oh my goodness. Well, did manage to kill him, thankfully, but we still have these spawns to deal with over here on the light side of things. Clear it out. Come on now. Baer optimal, we did, didn't we? Okay, come on now. We got it. Done! Monster defeated. We make our way into the beautiful golden chest room where we find ourselves with a golden axe. Nice. Oh my god, it ricochets. Oh, that is beautiful. That is an amazing weapon. I'm really happy that we got that. Oh, that's gonna be fun to use. So yeah, there's a bunch of different weapons too. I think I've seen like at least a dozen so far, and I've not even gotten them. Yes, it's on Steam Greenlight, so go vote for it. On Steam Greenlight, highly recommend doing so. Let's go ahead and head on to the sewers here. I don't think I'm gonna be spoiling that much. I'll go ahead and play through to a point that I think is sufficient to demonstrate the game. Might even die here as the light lizard in the sewer level, so might play through to that point. Gonna send golden axes to and fro as well, though, man. Oh god, face huggers! Oh Jesus! I don't know if I've made this point already, but I will vouch for this game's difficulty level. If you're a decent Isaac player, you'll probably not have too many problems. But if you're new to the genre, if you're otherwise like me, you know, like not the greatest Isaac player around, you're gonna have a good time with the difficulty here. I think the curve is pretty damn good. I bet as soon as you get a few more items, things will get a little bit easier. I killed a derper. That's awesome. Oh, we got a slime monster to deal with here. There we go. So occasionally they'll disguise themselves like this. So they say the shopkeeper is not invincible. Oh god, he attacks me. Oh, so it does work like that. Learn something new every time you play. I love it. So it's like a little boss fight. We got a blue candle here, apparently. That's almost a direct copy, is it not? That's kind of hilarious. Oh god. He's totally gonna kill me, isn't he? Oh, he's got the reflective weapons too. Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, my items do not really bounce very far. Oh, but now we get to see his health bar. That's exceptionally helpful. Oh, we're gonna take this guy down. Oh, his fire is spitting at me too. Jeez, this is a brand new development. I like it. Sweet. Oh, but we can't destroy these things. Let's go this way. So we got ourselves the blue candle. I don't expect that it works the same way as any other item. I don't, in fact, know what it does. I'd have to head over to the museum to find out exactly what the blue candle has in store for us. It might be piercing shots. Kind of looks like some piercing shots for us here. Sweet. I can dig that, yo. It gets more powerful each bounce. Ooh. So that would mean if we were to, like, bounce it on a ricochet like that... Unless you're talking about the shopkeeper's item. Or the shopkeeper's weapon. Who bet on shopkeeper? Yeah, exactly. So we got ourselves another $1,000 here, so I'd certainly like to find some blueprints and such. So yeah, that is a really cool mechanic. I like that they made the shopkeeper scalable. Thank you for enlightening me on that functionality. And I am so bad. There we go. One more. Got him. Got it. Good stuff. Okay, I'd like to make it a little bit further than this. And oh goodness, this layout is not my friend. Yeah, that is just bad position to be in here. Oh my god, I'm so screwed. I'm so dead. I have 6 hit points. Oh lord. Yeah, there I go. Okay, so that'll do it. So let's head over to the museum. That would be the farthest I've gotten so far. Furthest I've gotten so far. If I want to be proper Englishman. So let's see what the changes. Start of 1,500 gold now. Fantastic. So it seems to be the case that if you manage to rescue a townsfolk, increases your starting gold by 500, which means we would be able to start with something like the javelin or the axe or the dagger even. And I don't know if we can kill this guy. Yeah, he just kind of gets pissed off. But welcome to my humble store. If you manage to find any blueprints, I'll be able to stock my store with new items. So let's go ahead and head over to the museum, see if we can have a look at the functionality of the various items we found. And here's the museum lobby. Let's head over this way. This is the Hall of Graves, so you can see like the different enemies that you've been able to kill and the information about them. Sometimes still carries its shovel. Very cool. Here's our zombie warlord, so I've killed him 3 times, which I feel pretty damn good about. And alright, so I believe items are gonna be somewhere. So these are the swamp critters. Very good. I believe this is the Hall of the Dead for the crypt. Gotcha. They've also got a Hall of Patrons here, which I believe is, I don't know if they did a Kickstarter. I think they did a Kickstarter. But I think this is one of the perks, like, you know, like have your own dedicated artwork in the game itself. So here is our item hall. Hall of Artifacts. Yields a blue flame that provides magical protection. Okay. Abacus, I believe, is, insight to the mass, so I believe that's like the, shows the health bars of the enemies or something like that. Monster Manuel and the green key. Disturbingly, this key is always wet with slime. Durfox, happy Saturday to you, buddy. We've also got our weapon layout here as well. Liking it lots. Ah, yes, and here's the items we're looking for. So here's the Ring of Defense, with the Ring of Minor Defense last time. Still quite a few items left to unlock, and I'll leave that to you guys. So again, guys, this is a Wizard's Lizard. Available on wizardslizard.com. Please go check it out. Vote it up on Steam Greenlight. Pick up a copy for yourself for 15 bucks. I'm having a really good time with it. I highly recommend this one. Lots of fun. Go check it out for yourself. 15 bucks, wizardslizard.com. You can find the link down in the description. I'm also typing the exclamation point spotlight command over in the Twitch chat right now. That'll do it for today's Indie Spotlight, guys. Thanks so much for joining me here on the Baer Live Show. I'll see you next time.